So before we start, I should mention that there are essentially two categories of errors in a program. The first is logical errors. So basically, your program compiles in terms of compiled languages, or interprets in the case of Python, and it interprets correctly. The code in it is correct, but it produces the output that you do not want. So you've made some type of a logical error. You told the program to do the wrong thing. This is not what we're going to cover in this chapter. What we're going to cover are called essentially runtime errors. So these are errors where something is inherently wrong with the code. The interpreter doesn't understand certain lines or cannot perform certain operations for whatever the specific reason. So these, the latter type of errors, break down into two categories. First are exceptions. And exceptions, look, these are used interchangeably. Errors, exceptions, errors, exceptions. I myself have used the word error instead of exception hundreds and hundreds of times. But the exceptions are what happens when your program runs. So you've clicked play, all of the syntax was checked, now the program is running, and something has occurred that has made it crash. And it's come up with an exception, usually says most recent call last. But there's also errors, which are like syntax errors, which basically happen before the program runs. So Python checks your code before it runs it, and this is where the errors come up. So exceptions happen after the code has begun to run, and errors happen before the code has come to run. Now, this small distinction in the terms of errors and exceptions is just a technicality, and be prepared that people sort of interchange the terms out there, but I thought we should be specific in terms of how we present this.